Good morning, this is Jack from theartofchart.net, and this is the pre-market recording for Thursday, the 21st of June. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Right. This is a strange pattern, sir. Yes, a trend day is possible today. Yesterday, we didn't see a trend day. That makes one more likely today. That trend day should go down. But, I mean, really, we should have gone down before this. Overnight was interesting. We actually went high enough to invalidate this head and shoulder pattern, which was annoying. And the high was very interesting because it was at declining resistance from the high. That suggests that, well, it means we know where resistance is, which is this trend line now at about the 27.85 area. And it means that there's a pattern here. I'm not sure which it is, though. I don't get... What I look for are confirming lines where we can have a three-touch trend line, particularly with a lower trend line like this, and I don't have those. The obvious would be from here to here through here. Now that could get us to our 27.25 target that would have been the head and shoulder target anyway. So the question is, we've got resistance there, we've got weekly pivot there. As long as those are holding as resistance, we can go down quite a lot. We could potentially even get Stan's 2700 with an alternate trend line that came from here. But I think some kind of a pattern is forming. This is likely to be a flag that is forming. It doesn't look much like a triangle. Could be, but I don't think it is. I think we're about to go down and make the lower trend line. I'm going to be working up options for that and looking at it. Let's have a look at the others. Let's have a look at NQ. Now, NQ has made a higher high over, and obviously it killed off the head and shoulders. Said yesterday morning that meant we were likely to retest the high. We retested the high. We went a bit higher. We haven't got back to this trend line, which would actually change, which would mean that we were still in the rising wedge, and that it would alter the trend line to from here through here. So at the moment, this still looks like top in process. I've got a nice double top here, and this could see us give us a decent retracement potentially. Down to the 69.50 area approximately, or alternatively we could break down below here and then break up and make a new high as another effective Janus flag setup. We should really see more down here. I mean, looking at the RTH charts, NDX particularly, this is a very nice daily RSI 5 sell signal that is fixed. We're still on an RSI 14 sell signal. There's definitely scope for a decent decline here if the market can deliver it. On RUT, I've still got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. We've lost divergence here, but more of a concern is this. We've had a very, very nice trend line here. We had a couple of hits at it, and we've broken up slightly over it. Now, either this is a bearish overthrow, in which case this is a much larger high than we're currentently thinking it is. I don't think that's that likely. Or this is expanding up into a larger pattern. We've again broken wedge support here. I don't have a current obvious bottom topping pattern, although I do have some head and shoulder potential here. But at the moment, I'm just not sure we're going to have the time to develop head and shoulders out of that. So it depends how far this goes. It depends what happens on the market today. But really, the bears have left it about as long as they can. We really need to see a trend down today to establish some downside. The low window, well, it depends how strong the move is. The low window could move considerably into July if it's a strong enough move. Or at least that's where I was getting from a conversation with Stan. So I don't think the low window is absolutely cut and dried, but we do need to see something from the bears here. So we've really not been seeing much new highs on NDX and RUT. We need to see something. This is downright disturbing break over a major resistance trend line on RUT. So I was very surprised to see that. We're still on an RSI 14 sell signal on the hourly on RUT. But anyway, we need to see some action today. We really do. It's a trend day. We didn't have a trend day yesterday. It's lined up. We got a nice decline. What we need to do is not follow the pattern of Monday, Tuesday, and last Friday, where we basically had gaps down, NDX particularly very strongly, and then sort of recovered it over the course of the day. We need to actually go down and keep going. So let's see if they can manage that today. We shall see. But you see, this was the pattern on NDX. It's gap down, flag, gap down. Basically we were coming back up, filling the gap or pretty close to it, and then gapping down the next day. So we had 3 days where that was the pattern. Then yesterday we broke that pattern with a gap up and stayed up, and then we're going to gap down again today. This leaves a potential island top here on NDX. Is NDX going to leave that? Let's have a look. Where's NDX right now? 73.16. Okay, that isn't down much. So, but we've got real downside potential today. We need to actually see that happen. Otherwise, I'll be wondering whether it's going to happen at all. As it is, we've got lots of negative divergence and nice daily sell signal and NDX. NDX and RUT both on 60-minute sell signals. I think the SPX too, but that's made the possible near miss target, so not as strong. Anyway, so NQ, we've still got double top potential here. This looks like a little head and shoulders for me, maybe. We shall see. We need to break back below this this high, which was the right shoulder high, and keep going. Get under the weekly pivot. Right, let's have a look at CL. CL, I think this is a rising wedge which has broken down as back testing weekly pivot as resistance. It would be nice to see weekly pivot hold as resistance. Obviously this has been a bit of an interlude, but I think what we've probably been doing is just setting up a less steep wedge resistance, and then I'm going to draw in, I've got another potential contender trend line for support here. I'm thinking maybe 6250 Stan's looking at. I've got a pattern set up that would work with that, but we obviously need to hold a weekly pivot as resistance and actually go down, because there is still a possibility this is a double bottom. And if we broke up over 67, then it would be a double bottom. Okay, NG, nice rally here. I drew in a possible channel resistance trend line here night before last, and it's almost reached it. I'm wondering whether it's going to reverse there, in which case we have a falling channel. So we shall see how that goes. We could, if it breaks up, we could see a retest of this high, in which case we would expect that to be the second high of a double top. So we shall see how that goes. GC has gone lower here. I've redrawn in a new declining resistance trend line. It's not far above, actually. We've got a lot of positive divergence, possible 120-minute buy signal brewing. Silver is looking very promising for reversal here. Nice looking double bottom setup. The 60-minute buy signal has fixed, reconfirmed, and is about to try and reconfirm again. So I like this for a low here. Is DX going to turn? Well, it's actually made my targets I was talking about in chart chat, but I'll come to that in a minute. HG holding strong trend line support here on the bigger picture. All the positive divergence we could hope for. Nice looking little double bottom setup with resistance at the monthly pivot. This should turn if DX turns, which I think it's probably going to. ZB holding the monthly pivot, the weekly pivot so far, back above monthly pivot. As I said, if this holds as support, then this is for me the obvious target would be a retest of this high. It may not make it. We shall see how that goes. But if it's going to do the next leg down, like Stan's talking about, it's going to have to convert the weekly pivot to resistance. And at the moment, that's holding as support. Okay, DX. DX has gone a bit higher overnight. Now, this has actually given us on the RTH chart a full retest of the high. And marginally higher. And that is a good thing, because that gives us the ideal place for me for this two-turn. It's looking pretty good two-turn. I mean, I love the setup on EURUSD. Perfect retest of that low. I was saying this looked like unfinished business till it was hit, and it's been hit. We've got a weak 60-minute buy signal here. I hadn't bothered marking it in, but mainly this is a very nice double bottom setup now. Double bottom resistance just under 1.185 and with a target in the 1.2175 area. I would like to see this play out now, but this is a good indicator that DX has a real shot at turning here, and that's what I would like to see. Okay. USD JPY, back over the weekly pivot. I'm still wondering about a possible retest of this high. I'm thinking it's more likely to just retest this one. But there is still a bull flag target at a retest of this high that I am aware of. So if we retest this high, that will probably get a 60-minute sell signal brewing. This would set up a nice little double top to take us back down and retrace the whole of this move back to here. And this, of course, is alternate. Is larger double top support or flag support. So we shall see how that goes. USD CAD. USD CAD has reached the trend line I had marked in, which was the next obvious trend line. I would really like to see this reverse. Certainly we're not short of negative divergence. This is a full 60-minute sell signal brewing. Week one already fixed. We've reached the obvious trendline resistance. Although, I mean, this was a very nice candidate too. And it respected it for a bit and then went through it. This one is being respected so far. Let's see whether it holds. But this is, if it's going to turn down, this is the obvious place for CAD to do that. Australian dollar, nice little channel here. It's breaking up from it. That's within a larger channel. The obvious next target would be channel resistance. I've got that up in the 75.20 area, so I would like to see that happen. We may well break up from that when it's reached, and this could just about. No, I think it's probably too large to be as part of the in relation to the previous decline to be a double bottom here. But certainly we can start a decent leg up. KC, I'm not sure about the trend line here because I don't have a 3-touch trend line, and I'll answer questions at the end. But I've got this one hasn't been holding a resistance trend line. Sometimes that just means that it's establishing a new one. But so far, this looks as though it might be breaking up. No current divergence. SB broke down slightly through this trend line here, which was not a good development because it means that this trend line here is no longer a target, which was a good match with Sen's 140 target. This may just be establishing an alternate support trend line. We shall see. Short term, we've got a falling megaphone which is broken up and is back testing. CC still in the same likely bear flag megaphone. The next obvious target within the megaphone, if it is reached, is megaphone resistance, currently in the 25.90 area. ZW, nice little move up. Not on any positive divergence, but we had a nice little falling wedge here. It's broken up. I'd expect to see a test of the weekly pivot at least from here. Corn is breaking up towards the trend line resistance, which I've got in the 361 area, and we have a lot of positive divergence. Really, that should break and it should go higher. Soy, actually, after the spike down, which was likely capitulation low, we did the little retrace that Stan was looking for, and we've now broken up through the trend line resistance. I'm looking higher. We're on a 4-hour buy signal. This should go higher. Okay, great. Let's stop the recording there.